Hello, this is Ana Perez, and today I want to share with you some strategies to compete and win in AI search. A lot of things are going on lately, and I wanted to create like some tips to keep updated with the latest trends, how to win in the SERPs, and yeah, understand how AI search works, some practical ways to structure your site to get picked and cited in AI search results. And yeah, and basically how you can create like a strategy so you'll be able to compete in the latest AI landscape. I'm Ana Perez. I'm a SEO manager currently based in the United States and originally born in Spain. I've been doing SEO for the last 9 years, from technical audits, content strategies, keeping up to date with the latest trends and working for different kind of clients. Um, I want to share with you like some things that are really working on my clients, and yeah, so everyone can win in this landscape. Let's start with the evolution of search. This one is especially based in Google, but yeah, many things happen in the latest years. From Google Images launch, later going through the news or different products, videos. If you've been working in as a CEO or in digital marketing for some years, you know that many things happen over this time and many changes happen. And it's like exciting because we need to be updated all the time with the latest things happening in the landscape. And yeah, and now this is just happening. The AI is here. We cannot do anything to come back, and we cannot regret. So we need to learn the most of the that generative experience. And yeah, what's happening right now? So we in the current landscape we have two different things, especially the AI overviews that they are the summaries that appear when we search something and define like yeah answer that information in a brief way. And later we have the recent AI mode. This has been launched in Spain really, really recently. In the United States has been launched like about 2 months ago. And I've been yeah testing different things and trying to understand how it works. And basically the main difference between both it's like AI overviews are especially focused on informational results, like what does this mean? Like, yeah, something informational, right? And we get the summary, and later we have the different blue links. And the AI mode is like kind of it allows us to have a conversation with Google, or it's like yeah, we can ask something, not just a query, and that query we can keep a conversation with that like if it was like a real person. And one interesting thing is like the AI mode uses something called query fan out technique. That means that our question it breaks into several searches. So yeah, your content can be cited and can show up into that AI mode specifically for that different quotes or different blocks of text. And this is an example of how it looks like the AI overviews. So in this case, I said, okay, compare coffee brewing methods. And I get the first two blue links. The first one is from a website and the second one is from Reddit. And later we are getting the AI overview with that summary and that image. And if we see at the end of each paragraph, there's like a that small favicon, that link. That means that if we click into it, it's gonna show up for from which website is coming from. So we are getting like a summary, like a result from several websites. And in the right, we are seeing how the AI mode shows. So again, I said compare coffee brewing methods, and instead of getting like the different links, I'm just getting a table with the different features and the different types. And at the right, I'm getting like the different sources used, pulled from this one. So it provides kind of similar information, but in kind of a different way. And now let's check how the AI mode works. You're asking a question, you're checking different sites, we are getting a graph, key observations, and different sources used. So it's really, really complete, and later we can follow up that conversation. So yeah, it's like if we were talking with a friend or with someone else, and now we have the opportunity to show up for that search. Um, and again, we are replacing just an individual link for several ones. And I wanted to explain briefly how the query fan out works. I mentioned that before, but it's, for example, if I ask the question, how can I start a podcast in 2025 as a beginner on a budget? That question breaks into several ones, and the fan out is like it's gonna uh, create different searches from, like, for example, what are the best free podcast tools for beginners, how to record a podcast on a budget, and another one would be like, what are tips for launching a podcast with no experience, right? So those fan outs are kind of sub intents behind a search query. And how does this result looks like into Perplexity? That's other LLM. So I asked the same question, and the results are quite similar. I get the answer, the videos, the sources, and the different steps. And if you see at the top, when it says searching here, it shows like the different query fan outs, right? And later the different sources used. So yeah, to be cited into LLMs is pretty important to be like a good branding that provide that authority. You need to be considered an expert. So the LLMs understand you are someone that really has a lot of knowledge about it, and with that be cited into the different LLMs like ChatGPT or Perplexity, or yeah, there are a lot of ones right now. So the main shift from the traditional SEO, or maybe the old SEO mindset, was like, okay, we want to optimize for specific keywords and pages. And later we want to match those exact terms, build that linkings, and climb the rankings. But now the reality says, okay, but your content must be passage competitive, and the passages are that thing that appears highlight. So those are the passages. When I search what's the best protein for the diabetics, And when I click into some of those small links from here, it's gonna show up which source is which page is cited and highlight the content is the content origin, right? So now the ranking is like is not doesn't look like okay, I'm gonna include those different keywords and optimize for that user intent for those pages. Now it's more like probabilistic. We're gonna see this into the next slide. So the results depend on different alignments and also with the topical authority of your content. And what does that mean? So the classic SEO is like, okay, I want to, for the query best running shoes, if I have like a good keyword match and user intent and have like enough authority backlinks, probably I'm gonna rank for that keyword. Um, but now is focused on probabilistic. That means that okay, if I if I wanna rank for that, the queries might vary. Like it's gonna be like which running shoes are for flat feet, or top marathon shoe for this year, or best sneakers for long distance. So this is not like exact keywords. It's gonna be like, oh, based on your content and the different topics you have, which ones match better with my search. So I'm going to be able to be cited for some of those searches, but skip for other ones. So the visibility depends on that embedding alignment. And now you should be wondering, okay, Anna, but what is this exactly? How does this look like? So, yeah, with this graph, I'm showing you like, okay, the user intent is that, and the two different contents closest to the search is this one. So we are going to be cited for those. So, the AI is going to check the full ecosystem and relevant content, but it's going to be only show up for some. And the definition for those vector embeddings are just like numerical representations that capture that semantic meaning and relationship. And like I mentioned, like instead of matching keywords like search engine, you would use those math models to understand the query intent and understand the context instead of the keyword. It wants to understand the whole context or your site. I'll later decide if is going to surface your content or not. And one important thing is like, oh, now everyone wants to show up for yeah AI overviews and AI mode and then do the different LLMs. Yeah, I completely understand. But if your site is not optimized like with the traditional SEO, if your site has issues from crawlability or indexability, it won't likely show up for AI either, not for the basic blue links. Okay, so it's important to make slight changes, but keep the technical foundations and best practices live. All right, so the action plan about how to compete in AI. This is of course, it's evolution, like it's changing over time, but those are the main things that I've seen, I read that they are working on. And the first one is like a build brand searches through multiple channels. Um, SEO is not based only in the website. You need to build your brand across social media, podcasts, YouTube videos, For example, having like a branding page talking about who you are, who do you serve, which are your products or solutions, with FAQs and yeah, like a web page or different web pages that talk about your brand and who do you serve is really important because LLMs, when check your website, they want to understand that information. And if you're not clear enough or you're missing relevant information, your brand is not going to show up. So important thing, work on your branding. The second one is like write in AI friendly quotable chunks. Does that mean that now I need to write my content solely based in AI with AI? No, you can use AI, but it's really important uh, to use like a human revision, right? We are writing for humans, and I know that we are writing for AI, but the main thing is like our content needs to be useful, needs to solve a real issue, and needs to be written simple, without fluffy words, and need to be clear. So make sure that your content is written and reviewed by humans. The third question is research real questions, not just keywords. Yeah, it's a fact that users research your brand, your products, and your solutions into third-party sites like Reddit, Quora, or different forums. And when you make a search in Google, for example, you start typing your brand, you're gonna have like a yeah, the different searches for your site. So check on that, understand what they are talking about, what they are worried, what they don't like about your brand, and try to include that information into your site. And how can you do that? Okay, I know that when users are talking negative things about a brand, it's complex to deal with that or complex to include that information into your site. But there are ways to reframe that content and include that information, like usually or typically as an FAQs into your FAQ page or frequently asked questions and answer to those. If they are searching that into third-party sites, maybe it could be useful so you can provide that information directly into your site, right? And have that transparency and be clear with your users. That'd be really really useful and helpful. Yeah, other one like I mentioned is like be clear and helpful. If possible, include first-party insights from customer service, when clients complain by email or by in the contact center, you're gonna get a lot of insights. Make sure to include that information into those FAQs or helpful pages and create different content, buying guides that's gonna be helpful for your user, comparison pages, how to content, use cases. That doesn't mean you need to create everything, but if you think that's useful and helpful for your user to create to get that sale or that revenue, create it, do it. Other one regarding technical SEO is like avoiding JavaScript render contents. LLMs cannot parse effectively. So if you're using JavaScript in your site, make sure to use server-side rendering or static HTML for critical pages. So the main information should be in your raw HTML. If not, LLMs won't read it. Um, and yeah, at the same time, a good core with vitals into your site. Other one would be create informational hubs. This doesn't mean or like all the SEO was like I'm creating different topics and different things around different content, and now we want to create hubs of content or a topic. For example, for coffee lovers, we can create several content regarding the types of of coffee machines, yeah, like different things that can be useful and around that main topic. And finally, other thing that's coming up and showing up with the LLMs is to track mentions. Understand what LLMs are talking about your brand, are seeing about your brand. Is that information accurate? How often are you mentioned versus your competitors? That's why keeping like a consistent brand information is really important. And if you can have a Wikipedia page, that'd be really useful too. Okay, and which are the main things that are different from the classic SEO versus the AI optimization? So, for example, the goal in the classic SEO was rank high in search results, and with AI, that changes a bit with the getting cited in AI generated responses. The main insight here is like both matter. We want both. We want to rank high and we want to get cited in AI generated responses. So that's why you need to create useful content and yeah, with first-party insights and try to be as unique as possible. The other one could be like how the users search. So yeah, classic SEO keywords, short phrases, or maybe long tail keywords. But now it switched to a fully conversation with like if you were talking with someone. So you can be as specific as you want and just write two paragraphs of your information of your search. So the main insight here is like you need to research the current questions your audience has and incorporate that into your content. And regarding the success metrics, yeah, we had like the click-through rate, and now it switches to being quoted or referenced by AI. Um, they are still both still matter, and now it's also important to track some mentions. That I mean, you need to understand where your brand is mentioned. Of course, you're not going to track every brand search, but you can check the main ones that you consider the main important ones. Other one, the user journey, clicks, visits page, and converts. And now the user gets an answer and may visit your site or may not. So, yeah, try to make your brand memorable through compelling products, services, content. Be as unique as possible. The internet is full of kind of similar content, so try to include images, try to create videos, try to be really really useful and be cool. The content focus was to optimize for the full pages with titles, headers, meta. That still matters. You need to create different and compelling headers and be really concise into each answer for those. Um, but yeah, specifically avoid fluff content, and each paragraph should make sense into the whole content you create. The main platforms before were Google, Bing, search results, just the top ones, and now it's still being Google, but yeah, others came up. ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, AI Mode, AI Reviews. They are from Google too, but yeah, other ones come up. Key factors like getting links and the overall authority or domain authority of your site. And now it switches a bit to citations and brand sentiment. So try to build authority through quality backlinks and consistent messaging everywhere. Um, and now about the where your content lives, it's not only your website. Now it's about the third-party sites, Reddit, and social media, YouTube, the comments that people leave on that. So yeah, review that and try to understand what they are talking, and if you can answer to those in a natural way, that'd be great. Try to avoid the commercial way, like my platform, my solution is the best. That usually doesn't work. And measurement tools. So yeah, basics is still alive. GA4, Search Console, and your dashboards with Looker Studio. But now other ones appear, like brand monitoring tools or AI citations tracking. Some of the tools we all already know, they are including different citations tracking. But yeah, other ones are more advanced. That could be your election could be based on what you're looking for. So both the classic SEO and that AI or a geo or other acronym you want to use, they are more alike than you think. The same goal here is to drive revenue. That's money to your brand. That's the main thing in the past, and now that doesn't change. The authority signals still matter across all platforms. So keep building authority backlinks, keep showing up expertise, uh, keep working into that. Um, the high value content is critical. Now there's a lot of content created with AI, and you need to humanize that. I understand that you use AI to try to uh, create content that ranks, but try to use yeah, some human that reviews that. And and finally, the universal rule is like be helpful, be useful, and try to solve issues to your users. And a few things that really change, like traffic versus citations that we mentioned, the links versus citations, the blue links, measurement changes, and the response format. And what this means to your for your business. So content research gets smarter. So track actual questions user ask in AI systems. Try to use to make some search about your solutions without including your brand, and check which brands are citing there. And it here is really useful to create comparison content, like for example, best analytic solutions for large enterprises. So here you can create comparison content, your brand versus your competitors, and include different tables, use bullet points, like again, be useful, try to highlight your brand and humanize that content. Yeah, the way you write becomes answer first, so use the different intentionally different headings and use simple language. Um, invest in content creation. Try to make include unique unique content and show unique experiences and show unique perspectives into your site with different authors or different experts. And again, track new brand your different brand mentions and citation and what's talking about your brand. And the main question now is like, oh, okay, how can I explain this shift like from the SEO now to a geo, AEO, or different acronyms to your boss? So if you tell your boss, okay, boss, we need to optimize for ChatGPT, it's gonna say, what are you talking about? Uh, try to say, okay, currently, we are seeing fewer visits but higher quality leads from AI-driven channels. So, I mean, acronyms are cool, but I guess we need to be more clear into into our purpose. Again, some factors are still unclear. Keep testing. Don't pretend you have a perfect answer because neither has a perfect answer. Keep reading, keep testing different searches and then different platforms. We don't have the perfect answer. We're just here, yeah, learning over time and practicing, and try to shift that conversation from traffic to results. What really matter or leadership cares about is about the money and the revenue from organic traffic, or the pipeline influenced by organic visibility, or if those different brand searches in ChatGPT are driving real revenue to the site. So show the value and keep using your traditional KPIs like organic traffic, but include the new ones that can be pretty interesting, especially the transactional ones across AI platforms. And how to build that strategy, shift your mindset. In the past, it was like I want to rank for that specific long tail keyword like best beaches in Spain, and now it's like okay, now I want to get my content cited when someone searches for which beaches in Spain are best for families, or hidden gems in Spain, Costa del Sol. Create research across different platforms, make some search, check what's showing up, check the top content, try to create like a content that is kind of related with that, but make it better by providing more other videos that can be helpful, or infographics, or other things that can be useful for your users. Um, like a third point, like create answer first content. Yeah, try to avoid fluff content and that concise tips. And yeah, I mean, in the current era, people's time is really valuable, and everyone wants to get like a pretty quick results or answers for their questions. So try to help with that, and build brand authority everywhere, and measure and improve. Like use your data to keep testing and keep improving your SEO strategy. And yeah, how does this look like into the different platforms? So for example, this search is showing in this way with the mentioning the different beaches in Mallorca, Menorca, and the different sites. In Perplexity, it shows like a map and later different images and beaches. And that one in ChatGPT, it shows images too, and it shows like a table. So what would I do if I need to create that content? Okay, which beaches are more mentioned? Why they are good for, um, and include images for all of those and a map. So try to get the best of all of it and create content for that. And other news happening right now that you may have seen is like now you should be able to buy directly from ChatGPT. So they said, okay, help me find like a gift for my friend. And that's really cool because you'll be able to buy directly from Etsy. They partner, have a Shopify website or Etsy website. I know that here in the United States, Walmart. So I don't see myself buying groceries directly from Walmart, but let's see. That's really cool. I mean, AI is here. We need to be ready. We need to adapt our strategies. And the main key takeaways like embrace that probabilistic branding, create topic clusters around different topics, build a multi-channel presence, just work on your website, but yeah, review the forums, social media, your YouTube channel, and those citations and visibility in AI. Write both for humans and AI, like we mentioned, including unique data, and track the new metrics, like go beyond the traffic, measure if those brand mentions are driving any kind of revenue, speak the language that your boss and stakeholders want to listen, and keep learning every day, keep testing. So if you found this useful, please subscribe, comment, and share. It was a pleasure to share that information with you.